This is Harry Payden. I'm the host of the Paden Perspective, and this is another episode. And if I had to give it a title, it's The Power of Positivity. Episode 3, The Paden Perspective. Again, I'm your host, Harry Paden. Today is the day, January 18th, that we celebrate Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, a man that we will always remember for his sacrifices and what he did to give us our civil rights, and it was a battle. I have to admit that back then, I was still a teenager. I was not a fan of Dr. King's because I grew up more or less a revolutionary. You know, I follow people like Muhammad Ali, whose birthday was yesterday, the GOAT, the greatest, one of my greatest influences and mentors. And he, Muhammad Ali, and people like him, Jim Brown, Stokely Carmichael, many of them, we were powerful. We didn't back down. We were up front. We thought that there was going to be a revolution and we were going to take back control of this country that has abused our people for so long. I was of the mind that you're not going to spit on me, you're not going to smack me without me coming back at you. So back then I wasn't a fan of Dr. King's. But history has proven that Dr. King's method was revolutionary, though he modeled it after Mahatma Gandhi, who also led peaceful protests in India and got a lot accomplished through that. If I had to follow the mandates of some of the people that I was following back then, Black Panthers and some of the other more revolutionary groups, though they had good intentions, America has too many guns. Right now the revolution would have been bloody and I might not be here. But Dr. King showed through peaceful protest and highlighting to the world how America has two faces. The one that she likes the world to know when she goes in and tells others how to run their country, and our America that we live in every day. And that was demonstrated recently, January the 6th. Being retired, it's a true blessing. I don't have to do anything. I use the expression, I have nothing to do and all day to do it. Now, I do things, but with COVID, I limit what I do. And staying home now sometimes has its benefits. I've written 2 books, and I probably wouldn't have did that if I was more or less on the go. But also, January 6th, I was watching CNN, knowing that it was going to be newsworthy, and from the minute that those rioters, not protesters, rioters, stormed the Capitol under the crazy words of their demagogue, Trump, I was sitting there watching it, and my mouth was wide open, like, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe these people are doing what they're doing, and the rest is history. You all have seen it, but I saw it from minute one, and I couldn't believe it. It's like your mind goes into trauma mode, like, I'm not really seeing this. Maybe it's just an episode of NCI or whatever the shows are, but it really happened. And that's why I wanted to speak on that, because January 6th, in my opinion, was all about entitlement. Those who were so used to getting what they want are now finding out that what they want, they're not getting. They want Donald Trump to continue to be the person who runs this country and, in a backslide, run the world. Because how America goes, a lot of other places go. We are the leaders of the world. And he put, for the last 4 years, us in some very, very strange places. I won't say dark places because I don't like those terms, dark, light, to mean one thing. Dark is beautiful to me. I have no problem with dark. I am dark. Another subject, another day. But the entitlement, like one guy said, this is my desk. She don't own it. It's not your destiny until you earn it, sir. Okay, but that's what they thought. Now a whole lot of heads are starting to roll because of that. And again, as other people have said, imagine if that was black people. 44 people dead, 550 wounded. I'm not exaggerating, you know that's true. But those entitlement got to walk out of there, no bloodshed, none of them got, well, one person did get shot, unfortunately for her. And, you know, again, actions and reactions, unfortunately for her, her actions caused the reaction. But today, I'm talking about the power of positivity. And as I mentioned, I'm fortunate enough to have written 2 books, being a writer most of my life since I was a teenager. Writing is very easy for me. The first book, I really had that book really conceptualized for 10 years. I just didn't know how to publish it. I finally found out how to publish it, and it's published. So then I had another book running through these, you know, brain of mine, and I put that out in a month, less than a month. I mean, I sat up all night and I worked and I put it together, but it's a piece of work. It's a piece of art. And the first book, I've shared with you before, A Living Testimony, and this book kind of highlights parenting and talks about how people of color should educate their children in America. January 6th highlights that you gotta know what you gotta know, that there are 2 Americas, the entitled America and then the America that we live in. I don't consider myself entitled, but I have taken advantage of the American dream, educated, college, the best colleges in the United States. My children have now graduated. 2 of my grandchildren are about to graduate. So the cycle in my family has been broken. But to the average person that was out there at the Capitol building, I'm just an N-word according to them. But I've accomplished more in my life than probably the majority of those people in that crowd of writers. But again, this book has a lot of tips, and the reason I noticed some of those tips work is because they were utilized for me. I had some great mentors, like I said, though I didn't know Muhammad Ali, his brashness, his not taking any stuff, his being up in your face. One time they questioned him about going to Vietnam. He said, Vietnam? He said, they never did anything to me. Why should I fight them for you? When you see, that's the kind of person that I follow, and that tells you who I still am. I'm still not like Dr. King. I admire him. But the one thing that I always say is that his speech, back when he gave the I Have a Dream speech, there must have been 6 zillion people there because everybody claims that they were there, but everybody wasn't there. But everybody likes to ride on their coattails of success. And Dr. King, today we celebrate you. You gave your life at a young age for us. And that certainly is something that is great. But the power of positivity, again, I was raised to be great. My mother, from the day, she used to tell me crazy stuff that we thought was crazy. Sticks and stones will break your bones, but words will never hurt you. Why? Them words hurt. But it toughened me up because I had to, go. My mother was telling me, so I had to go from there. My dad never backed down from anybody. Other men that I was around. Later on, my pastor, at the time, he was in the youth center, Reverend Isaac Martin, and people like that. They said, you're better than where you are living in the projects. You can do anything. And I believe them, and I've done so much. But in this book about parenting, there's one little excerpt that I want to just read if I could. It says, if you Google black males, you're flooded with statistics that deal with negativity. It's no wonder our young men feel like losers. The following are examples of some of those negative statistics. 72% of African American boys lack a father in their home. Nationally, African American males have a 53% chance of dropping out of high school. In some districts, the rates are significantly higher. While African Americans make up 17% of the school population, they account for 32% of the suspensions and 30% of the expulsion. 1 of 3 black males are involved with the penal system. African American males are placed in remedial or special education classes at triple the rate of their white counterparts, and they are underrepresented in gifted and honors classes. Those are some negative statistics. And again, if you just continue to put those things out there as if they're such gospel, I wouldn't want to be a black male. Why? 1 in 3 are not? Come on. But that's why we got to flip that paradigm. We got to flip how we talk about ourselves. Regardless of whether those statistics are true, then if 1 in 3 are in jail, then it's the one that's not. I'm not in jail. Never traffic ticket. I've never been in jail. Have no intentions of going to jail. Went to the best colleges. I've traveled the world. What about me? So let's put ourselves out there. Let's do like some of the greatest minds, W.E.B. Du Bois and Dr. Booker T. Washington. They said that we got to highlight and take care of ourselves. We keep going to the other person for help, and they're not going to help us. I'm sorry. There are some gracious people out there with, very altruistic ways, but the majority of people are demonstrated by let that sink in. January 6th. Continue to watch that video, because that video was as much about black and white as it was about Donald Trump. Those people feel entitled. They feel, wait a minute, how come that vice president doesn't look like us? How come that guy got elected that one from Africa who didn't have a birth certificate? So they're mad, they're riled up. They're going to get out the gun. So we have to do things logically. Educate ourselves, educate our children. My second book, man, when I tell you, I am so excited about it. Some people would think I'm bragging, but that book is fire, absolutely fire. I have such, it's called Now You Tell Me. History/facts not taught in most schools. Some of the subjects I cover, I give you the truth about Native Americans. They told us that they were savages. Come on. I got the truth in my book. I got the truth about Africa. America's a country. Africa's a continent. Black buying power. Why we should spend in our own community, again, going giving money to everybody else, and they don't even like us. Woosah. Black Wall Street. If you don't know about Black Wall Street, Black Wall Street. And I'm not talking about today's Wall Street. I got several chapters on black history facts. I talk about black on black crime, the black codes, and I couple that with surviving police encounters. I give some historic civil rights events and people, the Tuskegee Airmen, Hispanic heritage, our brothers, Haiti. You really need to read why I say in Haiti, why countries like America hate Haiti. Factual. They hate Haiti. I'll give you a tip. Haiti was the first enslaved country that had a revolutionary. And when they did it, others said they hate Haiti for that. They blame Haiti for awakening our minds that they didn't educate. Black elected during Reconstruction, black cowboys. This book is fire. It's in production. You can get it at Amazon Books. Put my name, Harry Paden, Paden, and get it from Amazon Books. I've ordered copies, so my copies will be coming soon. But We need to be able to know these things. All of your kids need to be able. Don't buy the book because Harry's not trying to be rich. If I get rich, cool. Well, I'm rich. I take care of myself. I don't have to work a day again ever in my life. I'm retired. That's not a brag, that's a fact. But this book is to help our children and anyone else that wants to read it. It's not exclusively a black book. There are white folks out there that don't know these facts. We need to have these books in every school. So that's just my newest book. I'll keep you posted on that. But as we're going through and coming up to Black History Month, which every day to me is Black History, let me just give you a little bit more of the contents of my book. I know a lot of you out there watch the football team. I'm not going to get into who you rooted for. You know, good luck to all. I follow the Giants. I haven't even watched football. I love the Giants, but I can't watch mediocrity. Sorry. But if you watch those games, college games, you get some fantastic views from way up high in the sky. From the Blip. Did you know? John F. Pickering, Pickering, of Gonayas, maybe I mispronounced it, but he's from Haiti. He received a patent February 1900 for his airship Blip, which was the first to have the electric motor and directional signal. So when you get those signals and you say, oh no, he missed it, he caught it, think a black man. Those history books ain't saying that. My book tells you that. The next time you come, most of you should know this, to a traffic light or you go through that light, thank Garrett Morgan. He patented the traffic light. He also invented the gas mask, which was essential to our troops when we were in the war. Without him, we'd be German. It's in the book. Now, I don't know about you, but when I go out, I put on the burglar alarm, my car burglar alarm. Now, for your home security, December 1969, Marie Van Britten Brown, she was awarded a patent for home security system utilizing television. So when you're in your office and you can look on your phone and say, who's that in front of my house? You can thank a black woman. Now, that's just some of the stuff that I have in the book. Oh, let me see, I think I have another one. Right now, it's a little cold and, you know, you want to have your heat on. Those of you who have gas heating furnaces, you might want to thank Alice H. Parker, who's right here from New Jersey, Morristown. In 1990, she patented a design for gas heating furnaces. Her design still helps to provide central heating in millions of homes and buildings around the world. A black woman. The furnace is where you go when it's nice and warm. And the final thing, it's all in the book. The final thing, Mr. Jesse Eugene Russell. Guess what he invented? If you don't know, I'm sorry. He invented the integrity that brought us cellular phones. The fact that you can see me right now, thank you, Mr. Jesse Eugene Russell, who happens to be black. Did you know that? The cell phones, the tablets, all the things that we use and take for granted now. Kids don't even know how to do research because they can Google and do things like that. Because of Mr. Jesse Eugene Russell. He holds over 75 patents, and he also, did a lot with the internet. Again, I have to brag. This book has over 30 pages, has over, more pages than that. It has close to 200 pages, but it's 31 chapters. of history facts that's not taught in schools. Again, I gave you some of it. And aside from that, if that were not enough, 41 bibliography, wow, you know how you get on, you just get tongue twisted, bibliography, 41 bibliological references. In other words, I tell you where to get additional information because I just touched on some of the information. And one thing I'll say openly, if anyone gets my book and reads it and says they knew every fact that's in my book, I'll give you your money back. That's how positive I am. You didn't know it. You won't know it. Because I know a lot. I call myself Dr. Payden because I know so much black history. I don't have a doctorate, but my knowledge is Dr., PhD built. So get the book. Give it to a kid. You older now, you don't need to know it? Okay, good. Give it to a kid. Don't buy it for it. Give it to a kid. Don't do it for me. I'm good. This book is good. The other book, Give It to a Parent. It talks about positive, power of positivity. Frederick Douglass said, it is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. And many of you know broken men. It is much easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. I am elated that I'm able to put this book together and help. And the last thing is, as we go on today and we celebrate Dr. King, I know it's going to be a lot of celebrations and a lot of things taking place. The one thing that I'm going to ask, I've asked it and I've told people it's kind of an annoyance to me, is that as tradition, we lock arms as they did during the civil rights struggle, and we sing, "We Shall Overcome." And it's a great song, and it helped the movement. But again, I'm about positive affirmations, positive way of thinking. My glass is half full, not half empty. It's just the way I think. Now, let me relay a story before I go just a little further. When my daughter Shahara was a little much younger, she was, maybe 10, 11, maybe younger. She was in the back of the car with me, with one of her friends, and her friend said, Mr. Payden, and I forget exactly what she asked, but maybe she said, can we go to Disneyland? Something that I probably wasn't able to do. So she said something like, Mr. Payden, can we go to Disneyland? And I said, someday we'll go. And I overheard Shahara say to her, she whispered it, she said, someday's a long time. And it took me a while to think about that. What she was saying is, if Shahara asked me for a bike or a motorcycle or something that I couldn't afford, I would almost lie and say, someday. Now, instead of saying, Shahara, I can't afford that, Daddy don't have the money for that, I would say someday. So I guess I had said it so much in her life that someday, she said it, Shahara said, she said, it's a little girl, someday is a long time. So positive affirmations, I say that to say, we sing the song, we shall overcome someday. People, we have overcome. Yes, it's still craziness out there. We have a black president. We have a black female vice president. We've overcome. Let's stop. We shall overcome someday. I respect it. I love it. We have overcome. We have overcome. Let's stop singing the old song, because if I'm a child, I hear what Shahara hears. When we gonna overcome? We're gonna overcome someday. People, please help me with that. Spread that message. Again, I'm just talking. Today's a good day. Noted American historian, Mr. Carter G. Woodson, who happened to be black. He also gave us Black History Month. It's a story, you should know it. And he also wrote The Miseducation of the Negro, which we would call back then. Here's a quote from him. He says, "If you control a man's thinking, you do not have to worry about his actions. When you determine what a man shall think, you do not have to concern yourself about what he will do. If you make a man feel that he is inferior, you do not have to compel him to accept an inferior status, for he will seek it himself. If you make a man think that he is justly an outcast, you do not have to order him to the back door. He will go without being told. And if there is no back door, his very nature will demand one." That's in the book. That quote is dynamic because it talks about the plight of many of our children, particularly our black men. Society has given them the negative statistics, and they believe there ain't gonna be nothing. People used to tell me that. People used to tell me that. They're wrong. But some people weren't strong. They didn't have the mentors. They didn't have the education. They didn't have the drive, the parents, all the things that made me the man I am. I didn't just come out the womb with all these skills and all these talents. So we have to teach our children, educate our children. Both my books are about self-help. The one book, Parenting Children of Color, and it's not just for black families. There are white families out there with, just like the mayor of New York, he has a black child. And the other one has Black History Facts. Again, my challenge is if you can honestly say you knew every fact that's in the book that I wrote, I'll give you money back. I'll give you money back. These are just good books to have. I encourage you to get it. The last and final thing, y'all, we saw what happened January 6th. They're out there. Some of them work around us. Well, I don't work. I'm sorry. Some of them work around you guys. So let's be mindful. Keep your head on a swivel. You know that expression. Watch where you go. Watch what you do. They're angry. But we can't change the fact of what we're doing. God bless. God bless America. I've traveled other places. This country still is a great place. I've raised my family. I got grandchildren again about to graduate college. This country is a great country. Some people are mad about it. I'm not mad. I love this country. Congratulations to Joe Biden. I know that you will make a great president. Congratulations to Kamala Harris. Wow. Thank you, Kamala Harris. God bless you.